Welcome to the Sparkle Bomb Coach podcast and YouTube channel, where we bring fun and magic back to your life and business. I'm your host, Kay Decker, aka the Sparkle Bomb Coach, and I help women to connect with their soul and intuition, tap into their desires, and magnetize everything they desire in life, business, and relationships by turning on their inner sparkle. I'm so excited for you to be here. So let's sparkle! Hello, gorgeous. Welcome back to the Sparkle Bomb Coach podcast and YouTube channel. So today we are diving into another episode of the incredible Sparkle Summit. And today I have the replay with Stephanie Schultz. So Stephanie Schultz is an incredible business coach who started by selling like $14 fitness programs, making barely $500 a month, to bringing in over $600,000 cash in 2019. So at the time of the episode, it was just $500K, but now it's $600K. And I am so excited for you to dive in and listen into this beautiful replay. And there were some parts that were cut out, there were some parts that were shortened just to protect certain names, just to protect certain people who won prizes during the time when this was an online, in real time happening thing. So if you love this episode, don't forget to take a screenshot and tag me at KDecker Coaching on Instagram or Facebook, and tag Stephanie at XOGingy. Her information and everything is also in the description and in the show notes. Okay, let's dive in. So excited to have Stephanie here. So for those of you guys, because I know it's going to be a little bit delayed, I am so freaking excited. I'm so freaking excited to have Stephanie on. However the technicalities work, I'm so freaking excited that she is here with us today. And Stephanie, for those of you who don't know her at all, this is the first time that you are seeing this person. First of all, where have you been? And second of all, Stephanie is the founder of the Courageously Confident brand and the platform for women to rise up and be inspired to live the life of their dreams. And she literally walks the talk. She is a business coach who specializes in helping women to make more money through social media, and so through social media strategy and epic branding. And if you look at Stephanie, she's just walking gorgeous brand. So she has built her business from the bottom up and does so through genuine connection and her strong online presence. So I am so excited that you're here. As you guys are here, let us know, actually, have you ever done a program or something with Stephanie? I'm curious who has, because today I went to the gym and I did one of Stephanie's workouts and I'm dying. I'm dying. Stephanie is no joke. And my husband was there with me and he was impressed. He was so impressed. So Stephanie, hi.
I'm so excited to be here. The Sparkle Summit is on my brand, and I'm just this is the place to be right now. So I'm so happy to be here.
Oh my gosh, I am so freaking excited. So today you're going to share with us your story and all of the good stuff. But before we jump onto that, I actually want to tell people the first moment that I remember you, meeting you in the online world. And I bet you don't know that.
It was very curious right now.
Yeah, so it was a very long time ago. I just remember seeing this chick everywhere. Everywhere I went, in every group, everywhere online, I just saw this XOGingy, which I didn't even know how to pronounce that. I had no idea. And I'm like, oh, this girl, she's everywhere. She's freaking hot. She is killing it in her business. And I think I don't like her. But obviously I had zero emotional intelligence and I was triggered AF, but also I was like,
I think I'm gonna follow her. So I was the creepy neighbor. I was like stalking you on social media for so long because I was triggered by you, but eventually, as I learned more and more about personal development, and I learned that actually it has nothing to do with you, that I'm triggered by you, it says only something about me. And then it like switched, and I'm like, I want to be best friends with her. Like, I want to talk to her every day. I want to be best friends with her. And I am so happy that like we know each other, and then we are here together today to share your gold to these women. So that's the first time I remember you.
So crazy that, and I love that you can say that and be like, I was triggered by her, who is this chick, and then now we're in this beautiful bubble together and just rocking life. So it's just so funny. And to say that you were triggered is such a powerful thing. So I admire you, and you probably trigger lots of people yourself, Kate. So
Thank you. And I think it's also really good for other women to be here. Like, if you are triggered at some point during the summit or during our talk, it might be the best thing that ever happens to you.
100%.
So, Steph, why don't you tell us? Well, obviously, like we want to talk about all of the crazy shit that you created online in your business. Like, it blows my mind. Like, you guys are, there's so much happening. But I want to know first, because what we're doing is like we're really being raw, honest, full up transparency here. Who were you before you became this like courageously confident unicorn? Like, who was Stephanie Schultz before she became Stephanie Schultz?
Wow. Oh my gosh, heated question. I love it. So I spent most of my life, like as a child, as a teenager, even in university, my early 20s. I've just turned 28. I spent like 90% of my life not confident, not happy, insecure, not sure what I wanted to do, not sure who I was. I developed like anxiety and depression, and I had a horrible body image. Like, it was a hot mess, for lack of a better term. And I was not the woman that I am today. I was not Stephanie Schultz, right? And so my whole life was really, I think, like looking back now, building up my strength to be the woman that I am today. So, you know, I never in my life imagined that I would be doing what I'm doing right now. I always thought I would be like this very normal, typical, go to university, get a job, mediocre kind of life. And I knew in the back of my mind, quite young, that I was meant for more, like whatever that meant, right? But I didn't know what that meant. And I felt like for a lot of my life, I held back because I was afraid of being too much or being too ambitious or being too driven and all these things. And it was a disservice to myself. And I was kind of like dying on the inside because I wasn't truly being who I was. And so the transformation for me happened in university when I hit a wall. I was so unhappy. I was battling with like eating disorder and all these things. And I was like, why is this happening? And it was because I was just so unhappy with myself. So once I realized, okay, screw the past, screw all the things, I am ready to be me. And I had no idea really what that looked like. I didn't know what that career looked like. I didn't know what any of that looked like. I was just like, screw what I think I should do, and I'm going to step into what I want to do. And that's when it all kind of shifted and evolved. And now we are here today doing all the things.
Isn't that so funny? Like, for all of you guys who know Stephanie right now, or who you're seeing her right now, even just like speaking, can you imagine that this person was ever like shy, not confident? Like, it seems almost impossible. But actually yesterday when I was preparing for the interview, and I was just like, okay, like I want to stalk everything, like everything I haven't seen. So I literally scrolled to the bottom of your like Instagram, and I saw some of the like previous pictures, and I'm like, who is this? those are like two completely different women. And it's not that you looked completely different, but just that energy from the photo was like, holy macaroni. Like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, just out of curiosity, what were you studying in university?
So I was studying, so I have a degree in psychology and sociology, but I went to university to complete, I was supposed to complete it to become a teacher, but I stopped before that and dropped out before that because that was the summer that I realized like I really wasn't happy going down that path. So I finished some of it and then kind of stalled and didn't go back for the rest of it.
I love it. That makes us two dropouts. Yay.
Drop out, everybody.
I'm kidding, but sometimes it's really powerful to see that even if you don't do the things that people tell you to do to be successful, you can just completely like create your life and be incredibly and insanely successful. And I absolutely love that. Okay, so let me see what other people are saying. Everyone is saying just like hi, they're super excited.
I think we should let everyone know, even though we're on Zoom, still comment, still chime in, ask questions, like be interactive, even though it's a little bit different on.
Exactly. And I think it's different for us, but it's not so different for them.
Yeah.
So yeah. If you have any questions like these as you're watching, just feel free to like really drop them below. Even if we don't see them right away, what Steph and I are going to do is that after the live stream, we're just going to go back and try to respond to all of your questions. Okay, so what do you, okay, there's just so many things in the story. Have you always known how to use social media? Because that's a huge part of your success. And that's something that we're going to be talking about today. But I'm actually really curious, like, have you known how to use social media?
No. So here's the story. And I know you, Kate, you know a little bit of this story, but this is the story and I tell it over and over again. It's like the story I want people to know. So October 12th, 2012, I know the exact day. I was in university. I upgraded my phone to an iPhone and my friend said, you need to download Instagram. And at this time, it was 2012. I think Instagram was just starting to become a little bit more like popular. And I was like, I didn't get it. I was like, why? You know, like, why do I want to share pictures? Like, who's seeing this? I don't get it. What am I going to take pictures of? What do I share? Then I downloaded Instagram, right? So I'm like, fine, I'll download this Instagram thing. And I literally had no idea that you could reach people from all over the world. I had no idea who could look at posts. I had no idea. But I was like, okay, I'm going to start to post on this thing called Instagram. And during university, like I mentioned, I was going through like this transformation with fitness, with my body, with body image and all this stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to use Instagram almost as a platform for me to journal. Like, and again, I had no idea if people even saw the thing. So I was just sharing what I was going through every single day in terms of body image and fitness and all this stuff. And so again, I didn't know what a hashtag was. I didn't know really anything. I was just like post and whatever. It was really just for me. And then eventually I realized that women from all over the world were commenting on my posts and saying like, oh, me too, or, oh, I'm going through that too, or I feel the same way. And I was like, oh, wow, like this is really cool. People from all over the world are connecting and relating to my story. And I found that really comforting and really just cool to connect, not just from people who I live with physically in the same area, but all over the world. And so as I grew in my fitness transformation, even in my mindset transformation, I almost started to become a leader for these women because now these women following me were asking questions, like saying, could you post about this? Could you give tips about this? What you're saying is helping me. And then it almost turned into, like I said, me being a leader. And I became a little bit more specific with my content to not only connect with these women, but to give to these women to help them with their journey. So that's when I really discovered social media is a way to connect. It's a way there's different communities on social media, like on not just on different platforms, but because of hashtags, because of groups, because of different things. And I realized I was relating to women who wanted to find a love for fitness in their bodies, but just didn't know how to find it. And I became a leader for them as I transitioned maybe a little bit quicker than some of they were. So I went from not knowing to discovering it's really about community and connection, and then saying I'm going to direct my content to help these people. And over the years, like by this time, it was when I moved back home. I dropped out of university, moved back home. I was working part-time jobs, but my social media presence was still just like a side hobby. I remember coming home and being so excited, like I can't wait to get on there and like see, you know, like what I can say and see who's new and what I can do and create. It was just like a passion of mine.
That's so fun. Oh my gosh, I love that. And also funny, you know, with the whole Instagram thing, I had no idea how to use it either. And then like my little sister had to tell me how to use hashtags. So we all have our journeys. I love that. And you know, one thing that I also love about you so much is that you are so vulnerable on social media. Like you share so much. Like so many people would like not even dare to do that, and they would be like so scared and so ashamed. They're so like scared of being judged. So I want to talk to you about a little bit, like how did that happen? Like have you always felt so comfortable sharing your heart on social media, or what happened there?
Yeah. I think the confidence of being really vulnerable on social media came from at the beginning. I literally did not know anyone was watching. Like I thought it was just me posting to myself. So I was vulnerable because I literally had no idea that people were watching. And then I realized, oh, people are watching, but it was nothing bad. It was empowering them because I was being really vulnerable. And so it was literally just me not knowing at the beginning, and then me realizing that this was my vulnerability was helping people, and then it just allowed me to continue to be vulnerable.
And that was before you started any sort of business, right?
Yeah.
So how did you make a business out of this? Like when did the thought of like, oh my gosh, I want to be a business owner came in?
Okay, well, so I was actually working for 2 different companies at 2 different times, running other brands' social media. So I loved social media so much that I was helping other brands like build their brand on social media. And I was learning a lot about social media, and I was doing it for other people. And it never once crossed my mind that I could do it for myself, because one, I didn't know what would I sell, right? Like what would I do? So I was working for a while for this one job, and then that ended, and then I was working for my gym that I actually go to, and I quit after 6 hours because I hit a wall, and I was like, I'm sick of sharing other people's social media. I want to share my own all the time. And I didn't know that coaching was a thing. I had no idea. I kid you not, the same day that I quit that job after 6 hours, I came home and I had a mutual friend who was a coach, and they slid into my DMs and it worked. And this woman said, Steph, are you monetizing online? And I had no idea what that meant. And I was like, no, like what? And they're like, we have this program, you should totally buy it, like you should join it. And I was like, okay, it was a couple $1,000s. I had no idea what this was. And I was just like, I'm going to do it. And that was the spark that lit the fire. And that moment, I was like, I'm going to do this. I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do this. And that's when it all started. Summer of 2017. So like just over 2 years ago.
Wow. And in 2 years ago, you went from not knowing what does it mean monetizing your content to having like oh my gosh, how much money did you make this year?
So, I mean, we're very close to over 600,000.
That's a pretty cool story, guys, huh? Who's here?
I want to be very clear though, like when I say that, or when people state that fact to me, like I own it, but it's also like it does not feel real. Like it doesn't feel real. You know what I mean? Like I'm unapologetically own it, but I'm still like in shock, if that makes sense.
It makes total sense. And I love that. And, you know, one of the reasons why I'm like saying it, like how much, like tell people, it's not because like we want to brag, but because sometimes we think that it really takes a long time to build something incredible when that's actually not true. Like if it was just about time, we would all sort of like wait it out and see what happens. But that's not what happened. Like you were not waiting for anything. And because Steph and I, we also share our coach, Melanie, and we are in the same mastermind, I know a lot of these like back end secrets things. But one of the things that I know and that like totally fascinated me is that you were at first, when you started your business and you started with fitness, you were selling like mini programs on fitness and you were making like $500 per month. So for someone, let's say that they are, for the women who are here and maybe they already started their business and they are making like $500, maybe $1,000 per month. How did you decide, or like what happened in your mind to go from, okay, I want to do more, and now like the transition? I know that's a big question, but like what was the first impulse for you to want more?
I think it really came down to me realizing that I had more to offer. Like I loved, so I started off writing $14.99 personalized workout programs, and I will never, I'm so glad I did that because I loved it. And those women got great programs and it's like a story, right? But I hit a wall with like, is this all? Is this all there is? Am I going to do this forever? Just write fitness programs? Like there's more to me than fitness. There's more in my heart and my soul to share. And so it wasn't just like, oh, I want to make more money. It was like, I have so much more to share on the internet. And so it came to me hitting a wall of feeling really unfulfilled in my business. And I knew that had a lot to do with showing up and owning the other parts of me besides fitness. That had a lot to do with me stepping into even more confidence and being more polarizing and bold online just by sharing who I am and what I have to say. So it was really, it was the winter of 2018. After it started in 2017, in the winter of 2018, I was just kind of like, there's got to be more to this. And I was sick of feeling unfulfilled. And that's when it shifted. And when my mindset and my passion and my desire shifted, the income followed.
I love that. And I love that you mentioned that like you sort of hit a wall, that there is more in you. And sometimes, you know, when we start our businesses, we start doing something and then we evolve. And sometimes that leads us to, oh, what's wrong with me? Do I not love this anymore? Like, what's going on? And instead of focusing on that, you were like, no, there's just more. I want to expand. This is the time. And like, I want to share more. I want to create more impact, and I want to impact more people. And obviously, if you want to impact more people, it takes a shift in you to be able to hold that space for other women. So then I had like one question around, you know, like you owning it and like you owning this like confidence and everything. So, okay, how do I phrase this? So you are a badass and you're killing it right now. And you still have a coach. I think we'll start from there. Why do you have a coach right now? I mean, you've got this. Like, you know everything, right?
This is my favorite question so far. So I have been asked this, not a lot, but by a few people who don't understand this. So why would I have a coach when I am making more than enough money to get by? I know what I'm doing. I know how to sell. I know the strategies. I don't need a coach to tell me how to make a program. Like, I know what to do. Mm-hmm. When we are building a business, it is not just about making a social media platform and posting and saying, hey, buy from me. When we're building a business, this is a journey of personal development. And I have been through some of the toughest times of my life in the last year and a half while I'm building this business. And I don't sugarcoat anything. Like, this is a true test of who you are, how you want to show up, the ups and downs, the things you go through. And I would not be able to do this without support. So that's one. Number two is I have gotten to where I've gotten now, but I'm not done. So you don't just reach a certain level and like, oh, I learned how to sell programs and I'm done. Like, if you are like me, and I truly believe anybody watching is very ambitious and wants to do incredible things in the world, you know that you want to keep going. And so when we want to keep going and reach new levels and new heights and go beyond what we could ever imagine, we need to be guided by the people who are doing the things and in a place where we want to be. So I have a coach, not to help me tell me what to post on social media. I have a coach who's there for me through when my father passed away, who is there for me when Eric, my husband, is away for months and I'm sad, who's there for me when I'm freaking out about all these behind the scenes business stuff that we don't often share. Like, that is why I have a coach. For my emotional intelligence, for my resiliency, for me to be a better person, a better woman. Like, one of my biggest fears for new entrepreneurs is they think they can do it themselves, and then they see how hard it is and they crash and burn. And it's just like, if you set yourself up for success, you'll be able to do it and beyond. But a coach, if you're looking for a coach to, reach your first 10K and then you're going to be like done with your coach, you're in it for a different reason than why I'm in it.
Yes. I love that. I love that so much. And it brings a lot of important points. It's just the journey is never done. And one of the things that I absolutely love about you, and I don't think many people can do that, is that you really value leadership. And you're really like, you are there. If there is something that comes in your way when you like are unsure, or maybe you want some guidance, or maybe like you've never interacted with that before, you go and you ask. And because we are part of the same hypermind, of the same mastermind, and for those of you who have never been a part of a mastermind, how it works is usually that like you sort of like help each other, because every person comes in with different expertise. And at the time when I joined the same mastermind that you were in, I was making like $2,000 a month, and you were already making like, I don't even know, like crazy amount of money, right? Like, I think it was like 50, 60, something like that. And you asked a question and I gave you an answer to that. And I was just like, oh, she's gonna think I'm like totally nuts. Like, who am I to even like say something to this person? And you totally blew me away when you came in like a month later and you said like that actually like gave you a different perspective. And I was like, I get it. This woman is growing so freaking fast because she truly values leadership and she sits with that. Like, you don't take what people who are experts in something say lightly. And I just so love that. And that's such an important thing, I think. So
yeah. And I think this is so important for everybody to work on their leadership and to not be closed-minded and ask questions and value people's opinions and answers. And I think I remember this question. It was like reaching a new income level. If that's what you're talking about, you said like, yep. Why? And I remember a month later, I was like, Kate, your answer, like you blew me away. Like, you got me that, like you connected. And it's, I know that you had fears coming into this mastermind, right? Because you're like, I'm here, they're here. And it's like, it's so bizarre because it's about the mindset. It's about the collective like coaching with each other. So I'm never done growing. And I tell people, like, the moment I decide I'm done growing, someone needs to come and knock me on the forehead and be like, Steph, what are you doing? Because I'm never done growing and I will just keep going. And I say that very strongly because I want that for every woman. I want every woman to continue to value their own growth because that's how you just get better.
Yeah, I love that. And I think another huge thing that I see in you is that you're taking it seriously. like you're like, I am in this. And that's one of the things I think I remember Melanie talking about this, and that also like was another thing, like, ooh, I need to be friends with Steph. Like I like Steph. Like I like you are in it. And I think so we in the first 2 days we started talking in the Sparkle Summit about like what making a difference when something we can make it like it doesn't matter, or we can make it as it does matter. Like on the day one, I told the ladies, like, I shaved my legs because this matters. You're not going to touch my legs, but I shaved them. And I think like that silly thing maybe helps someone to remember that, but like that's one of the things that I see in you. So if you could talk about a little bit maybe about that, like how that shifted, how did you become this, like, I am in this like forever, and like you are showing up on social media so much and so strongly. So if you could talk about that a little bit.
I just, since day one, the day that person came into my inbox and said, you should join this program, I was in it. I was committed. I didn't have a backup plan. I didn't think, oh, maybe I'll try. I was like, I am in it. I'm in it. The months that I had no idea, like when I was 2018, when I didn't know what I was doing and it was a hot mess, I was still in it. I said, I'm going to fix this. I'm still in it. Like there came a point where I realized that what I am here to do on this earth is so much bigger than any problem that I have on a daily basis. Like the people that I'm here to help, my mission, my life, my freedom, my goals, whether it's, more personal things, whether it's for other people, like I am in this for such a big mission, a bigger mission than even I think I know. And so I'm never going to give up on this. Like I'm in it. I'm in it. I'm in it. And like, that's just what it is. And this is so interesting. I made a post today talking about like, why do some people quote unquote succeed and some don't? And the people I think who don't are people who lack, I think, emotional intelligence, resiliency, all these different things, but they're people who aren't in it. They're people like, let me just try it. Let me just see if it works. At the beginning, it's not going to work. You're going to fall on your face a million times. Like I fall on my face every day, but I'm still in it because I know it's just going to work. So it's just non-negotiable for me to be in it, to be committed, to show up. And I'll do it no matter what. And I don't want people listening to think, oh, it's easy for her to just be in it. Like I have my meltdowns. I have my days where I think, can I do this? But my bigger mission overrides any of those negative thoughts or doubts.
I love that. And I also love that you said that you have meltdowns, because we talked about it a little bit yesterday. They're like, it doesn't matter how long you've been working on yourself. These things come, but that doesn't matter as much. What are you going to do with that? Are you going to reach out for support? Are you not? So I absolutely love that. And now we covered why you are investing in yourself right now. Why do you have a coach? Now I would love to know how did you decide to hire your first coach? And because like, obviously that is a huge decision to make if you've never done it before. And now it makes sense why you're doing it right now, but like what helped you to make that decision in the first place?
So the first group program that I ever took, like the first
investment? No, first one-on-one coach.
Oh, so that was Melanie. We've been together a long time. Okay. So I was in a place where I was like, there's got to be more to this. Like, there's got to be more to this. And I'm like, what? I did a group program. I am seeing what other people are doing. I'm not feeling happy. I'm like, there's got to be more to this. So I knew I wanted a one-on-one coach. I was not the type of person to go and shop around and Google people. Like I wanted to find someone and just find them. And that's exactly what happened. I was on Facebook one day. I had a mutual friend that Melanie and I had a mutual friend, and the mutual friend shared Melanie's video on my Facebook, and I popped on her video, and she was talking about how much coaches do and how much work they put in, and how people don't realize that these coaches, and especially heart-centered coaches, will do anything for the people that they work with. And I was like, oh my God, I'm like, that is me. Like, oh, who is this woman? And like within 2 seconds, I'm like, hello, Melanie, how do I work with you? Like, what do we do? Whatever. And that's how it happened. But for me, it was like, I'm done making $500 a month. I'm done feeling like crap about my business. I know I'm here for something bigger, and I want someone to get me to that position. And so that investment at the time, like, didn't make sense. It was like over $7,000 some dollars. I was making like 1,000 at most a month. Like, it did not make sense, but I was like, sign me up. I don't care what it takes. I trust that this is going to work, and I'm just going to do it. And so I know a lot of people might be thinking, oh, I want to invest, but it costs so much money, or I want to invest and I'm scared, or I want to invest, but whatever the thoughts are. And I understand that, like, it's scary still to this day. When I invest, it's like, oh, there's a little bit of like fear in there. Right? But if you want this so bad, if you believe in yourself so much, you will do what it takes. You'll find a way. And I know, Kate, like, you have a story of how you invested too. And it's just like, it doesn't make sense on paper. But what we do as entrepreneurs and coaches is not rational. It's not rational. So we have to just accept that we are not normal people. We do irrational things because we create magic in the world. And that's what I'm here for. So I'm going to do things that might not make sense to other people. But if you are someone right now thinking like, oh, I want to do this thing, ask yourself, like, what is your mission? And are you going to do what it takes?
I love that. I absolutely love that. And the funny thing is, I loved typing the one-liner, like, from $500 per month to like 500K this year, because it does not make sense. As you said, like, it doesn't make sense. But that's also because it started in a way that did not make sense. And in that moment, it was probably the scariest thing you've like ever done. But now you have the equivalent of like, oh yeah, this doesn't make also sense. Like, you guys are going, like, your husband and you're going on a honeymoon soon, right?
Yes, we leave on Christmas Day.
I'm excited. I'm so excited. And you're going to have a butler there, right?
So here's the story about the butler, okay? So I have always said, well, it was like an ongoing joke between Eric, my husband, and I, of like, one day I'm like, in our new house, we're going to have a butler, like, just joking, right? And so when I went to book our suite, I was on the phone with the woman and I was like, are there any rooms with butlers? And because they offer that. And she's like, well, there's one left. And then it's so funny. She goes, it's going to be like $8,000. And I was like, I don't care. Because she knew I was young or whatever. And I was like, I want the butler. We're getting the butler. So me, Eric, and the butler in a month.
I am so freaking excited for you. And also, one of the things, you guys, if you don't follow Stephanie yet, we're gonna like definitely share all of her social media, because you want to see how she is killing it on social media, and you want to see the butlers.
Yes.
Okay, I absolutely love everything that you said, and all of this, basically, like, you share all of this, everything that you like say on social media, and you truly are the living proof of everything that you say, and everyone who follows you sees you, that's it, like, that's what's happening every single day. You show up in a massive way and you share like literally everything, and I absolutely love that. And so what would be your advice for someone who's there and is like, I don't really understand the social media thing, I don't know what I'm doing here, and I don't understand how do I make money from this?
Yeah. So the first thing is understanding how to build a personal brand. And that has changed over honestly, it's changed over even the last year, but it's evolved over the last couple years. Like we see now, and especially people watching this, I'm sure you're surrounded by lots of coaches or entrepreneurs in the online space. And think of who you're attracted to. You're attracted to people who are sharing their life, not just these perfectly, polished people, perfect photo shoots all the time. Like, not saying there's anything wrong with that, but you're attracted to people because of who they are. So right now, more than ever on social media, it is very important to be your most authentic self, because it is saturated. Like, let's be honest, we could follow 1 million people on Instagram. We're surrounded by 1 million people on Facebook. So what has happened recently is people are becoming more particular with who they're consuming on social media, and people love authenticity. So people love to see people just be themselves, and they feel connected to that. So my advice to people with social media right now is to stop overthinking it, stop overthinking the picture, stop overthinking the caption, and show up in a way that allows you to shine through, and your right people are going to connect to you. So that's what I have to say about social media right now in terms of like how to make money online. And if someone, like, I see a lot of people say, I want to be a coach, but I don't know what to coach. My advice is to just start building your social media and see what types of people follow you. See what they're commenting on your content. See what types of people these are. Are they women? What do they look like? Where do they live? What are they struggling with? And see if something pops out to you like, oh, I could help them with that. What is a transformation that you went through in your life that you could help people who are going through that right now get to the other side? So look at your own personal stories. And sometimes we think, well, like, oh, it seems very obvious. Like, to me, it's very obvious, I just go to the gym, right? Whereas some people need like that structure, the plan, a coach to get them there. So think of something that maybe is really obvious to you, but other people are struggling with. You can coach them to get through that, to get to the other side, to create a transformation.
I love that. I love that. And that's such a huge point. Also, like, when it comes to social media, it's one of the things that I think is really important. It's changing so quickly. And when like we started on social media back in like 2012, that's probably when I got on Instagram too. It was very simple and things were not changing. So we could spend those like almost 5 years figuring out what the heck is going on, because it was still same. And as we saw today, I mean, Facebook decided that the interview option is not there. But when you are, like, if someone who's listening today wants to really get into social media and understands, what I think is really important is just get into the world of someone who truly gets it, who really understands. And when it comes to social media, the first person every time that comes to mind is Steph. So I am so excited for everyone who's going to come your way, because you need Steph's vibes and her expertise in that. Like, I joined your Instagram class, actually, not that, I don't know when was it? And I thought I knew everything about Instagram. Little did I know.
The craziest thing, so we did that in June. What I'm teaching now is completely different because it's changed so much even since June, right? So like you said, it changes so fast that like we've got to keep up if we really want to do our best and reach more people online and grow our businesses and our personal brands on there. Like, it's wild how fast it changes.
Yeah. And that's why I think, like, if, especially for someone who is sort of like, I understand how it works, but like, I don't understand everything, like trying to catch up on your own, like, you can do it, but it's going to take you much longer because there's just so much going on. And so, Steph, I'm sure that people already love you and they want you in their lives as much as I do. At least that much. If they were to like be like, okay, I understand Steph, she is an incredible person. She is incredibly courageous. She is so vulnerable on social media. She is killing it on social media. I want her expertise. Where can they join you?
So
what do you have going on?
Okay, so I have the Scale, my social media program that is starting literally on Wednesday, and I'm such a social media nerd. I'm so excited. So speaking on social media and paid programs, this I put together this in a way that I've never saw social media taught before, is the strategies and the tactics combined with understanding how humans actually use social media, because we need yes, we need to understand why people engage or don't engage, follow or don't follow, why people, you know, understand how to actually reach our ideal follower and our ideal client. So this program combines understanding humans, psychology, and then the actual tactics on how to use the platforms in a way that you get more engagement and you thrive online, you get more likes, you grow your account, that kind of thing. So I'm like nerding out like crazy for this program. So if you're someone who just feels like there's low engagement, you don't know how to post, this program will be amazing for you.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I'm like, ooh, I've never heard that before. I love it. That is so awesome. And I also saw on your Instagram, because like I watch you every day, obviously. And you know, even if you never want to buy something from Steph, like her social media, watching it, reading it, it's so much fun. I recommend it. It's like better than Netflix. So
that is the best.
yeah. So yeah, you had some crazy bonuses with that, and people have like they've been already getting so many results from the bonuses. I don't remember what was it, but like it was every day there was like, I have new followers, I have new followers. So
yeah,
what's going on there?
Okay, so people who signed up in early bird got to be part of bonus content. So I've been dripping out. There's only been, yesterday was the third one. There's going to be 4. There's one right before it starts. Just like little tips and tricks of things to do. And people are constantly every day DMing me like, oh my God, I'm getting, you know, more profile views. And that's really big on Instagram, because people are actually going to your profile. Like they're interested in your content. They're going to your profile looking, and that's really huge. It's the right people. So it's hard for me to explain what that tactic was. I mean, I could be nice and send that email to people who are interested. If you want to send me your email, I could totally do that. But it's really just a strategy on connecting with other accounts who may be your ideal client or ideal, not ideal, someone else in your own niche. So being social on social media and showing Instagram that you're an expert in this area, you're more likely to show up in the suggested accounts for people. I don't even know if people know suggested accounts is a thing. But if someone's following a lot of fitness stuff, for example, you need to position yourself so you show up as a suggested account. So someone's going to be like, oh, I'm going to follow her. I'm going to engage with her. So I taught people how to do that, and their Instagram has been blown up.
I love that. And like the reason why I asked is because that's just like the pre-work. That's just the bonuses, and people are getting incredible results. So if there is someone here who's like, oh my gosh, like I really want to get on this game and I want to change my social media game. I want to change my life through social media. You are the person. Scale is the program. That's where they can be. Okay. Is there anything else you want to say about Scale? Because I want everyone to like understand that this is the gold of social media.
So all I have to say, I think I've already said it, but I want to say that this is going to be the most fun social media course you've ever taken. That's what I have. That's like the last thing I want to add. So if you're interested, just message me. We start on Wednesday, but it's going to be so much fun, and you're going to be mind blown.
Now I'm like, I want to be in. Okay, I love this so much, and thank you so much for being here and sharing everything. And you know, we spent a lot of time with your story, but I truly think that's so important for everyone to know and see that you too were a normal human.
I'm still a normal human.
You are a normal human, like in our fun way, yes. Right? Okay, I love this. Okay, so is there anything else that before we jump to the amazing and incredible giveaway that you decided to give away, which is mind-blowing, Is there anything else that comes to mind that you would like to share with these women who are part of the Sparkle Summit?
I just want to share that no matter how long you felt like you're struggling, or no matter how defeated you feel, if you truly feel it in your heart and soul that you're meant for something, go and get it. Go get it. Stay in your own lane, be focused, get support, have fun. Like, you're meant for more in life than you can even imagine. And I truly believe that. And I just want you to live a life that you're just absolutely in awe of, because I know it's possible. I know it's possible. And it just takes dedication and taking action and love for yourself. And just know that through every struggle, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay no matter what, but just don't let fear hold you back. You got this.
Oh my gosh, that was so good and so powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I 100% second that. I love it. Oh my gosh, this was so good. So much, Stephanie, for being here, for sharing your heart in a big way, as you always do, for being so vulnerable with us and everywhere that you show up. I am so grateful to know you and so grateful to have you here. And I know all of the ladies loved it and took so much of it. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, and thank you everyone for watching. I'm just so happy to share this with you all and connect with everyone. And thank you, Kate. I'm just over the moon right now.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye.